Ladies and gentlemen, it is showtime. Please enjoy the show.
It's the corner where the treats at.
Is this the passing of the torch, right? Is this what this signifies?
It comes down to that front office and what they feel is most important.
The champ is here. We've touched down from a higher plane. Why you made it here?
We always look forward to that week because it was always intense.
You know that we ain't coming back. We about to.
The man, the myth, the legend, Dante Hall. My favorite player growing up was Dante Hall. I love you guys in the show, but Dante was my guy.
Get to dashing because you done on the warfield.
It's week 7, and the Kansas City Chiefs are gearing up for a classic AFC West showdown against the Las Vegas Raiders. That's right. It's Raiders week, baby. The Chiefs are an 11.5-point favorite, and Arrowhead is ready to explode. Rashee Rice is back from suspension, and this offense looks dangerous again. Mahomes spreading it around, Kelce carving up defenses, and the points are flowing like we're used to seeing in Chiefs Kingdom. FanDuel has every angle covered from Mahomes' passing yards to Rice's receiving props to how this defense plans to clamp down on the Raiders' attack. Want even more action? Build your own same-game parlay and ride with the Kingdom all Sunday long. With fast payouts and an app that's smoother than a Mahomes sidearm throw, FanDuel makes every snap feel bigger. And don't forget, every Friday on Chief Concerns, we drop our best 5-leg same-game parlay for the weekend, plus JD's 10 keys to victory, breaking down exactly how the Chiefs can handle business against their rivals and keep the AFC crown in Kansas City. Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app today and make every snap count. Chiefs, Raiders, Rashee Rice back, the offense is rolling, and the Kingdoms are ready to roar.
What up, everyone? Don't get too excited. It's not only going to be me in this show. Marcus will be on shortly. I don't believe JD will be joining today, but yeah, it was such a blowout. Marcus just took the day. Everyone took the day off except for me. So yeah, that was quite a blowout. I'm not sure how surprised some of you were. I thought we were going to win. I just didn't think that was going to be one of the most embarrassing games I've seen in a while. I mean, honestly, it was a pretty bad early slate of games. I think 4 quarterbacks got benched either because they were getting killed or they were killing the other team. But this was a pretty rough showing. There he is.
Sorry about that, guys. The power literally just went out right as I hit the intro. The power went out. It's really windy here. So
I told everyone it was such a blowout that everyone just took the day off. They just gave me the mic and said, "Just go. We don't need to talk about this today. It's just there's nothing to talk about."
Yeah, we thought it was like a preseason game. So like, you know what, Teja, you got it. It's a preseason game.
Yeah, roll with it. It's your shot, kid.
So 31-0. I don't know what you said, but 31-0 domination in every level. If you're a Chiefs fan, well, actually, first of all, I want to say JD's not going to make it tonight because JD is at the hospital with Chad. Chad just had a procedure. So, guys, please send your prayers and your blessings to JD and Chad as they are at the hospital right now. So, JD, we love you. I don't know if you're watching the show. We love you, buddy. And we're sending all our prayers out to Chad, Dunn. Word, buddy. Word. So, please send all your blessings and prayers in the chat. So this game, right? 31-0. And also, too, let's send a prayer to the Raiders fans because I don't know how you watch football and can watch the Raiders every week. Because if that's a display you're seeing every week, that's horrible, man. That is absolute trash. I mean, like, Nancy said it best when he was talking about the statistics, the 3 first downs, the 30 first downs. First time a team has done that since 2008. The last team to do that was the Raiders in 2008, which is just horrendous. So, like, for me, I'm watching this game, and I'm like, oh, man. But my big takeaway is we'll get to different things, but just at a broad view looking at this game, we've been waiting for the last few years, right? We were talking about when 2018, the early days of Mahomes. It was offense. But the defense was kind of straggling along. Then it went to the last few years where it became the defense. And the offense just kind of plug along and chug along with the defense. But now we have the offensive defense both playing at elite levels. And you've seen this 2 weeks in a row where the offense and then you add in Rashee Rice and the offense is playing an elite level. The defense is playing an elite level. You can actually look at the stats in this game and be like 436 yards to 93 yards. Right there, it's the offense dominating for 436 yards and the defense dominating, holding a team to a total of under 93 yards. So that's a big thing I look at. I'm like, everything's coming together in one big, amazing puzzle piece, Teja. What was your broad view? What was your big thoughts of this game when you look at it, besides the Raiders blowing?
2 words came to mind. No notes, because I don't have anything negative to say. I mean, how could you? I'd be nitpicking if I said anything bad today. You know, I was just a nitpicking jerk if I came out saying bad things today of all days. The one complaint is you couldn't have made it a little more entertaining, I guess, as far as competitive nature. But that's really not up to us. I was up to the Raiders not to show up today. Yeah, I mean, as bad as it was, like, it was one of those games, you know, some games you watch and you look at the stat line afterwards, like, man, I thought they looked better than that, or I thought they looked a little worse than that. I'm surprised by this. I'm not surprised by any of these stat lines. It was as bad as it looked live, like 0 for 7 on third down. I mean, 17 minutes of game time of possession, like 17 minutes. 30 total plays. That's crazy. That's like, I think you have to try to be that bad in a game. You have to, like, everyone just got to be on the hook taking money for that one. Like, that is just, it's bad, man. I mean, they couldn't even get to the red zone. Forget there was no red zone to talk about. The only thing they got close to us on were penalties. And the funny thing is, you look at a game like this, and you're like, oh man, they must have like turned the ball over. But no, they didn't. They had 1 turnover. So
and only allowed 1 sack too, which is surprising to me.
Yeah, they don't have a competent offense. And you know, I'm a fantasy football player, so I watch a lot of other teams. So I've watched Raider games before, and they have looked bad. But when I've seen Raider games in the past, they looked okay at sometimes, and then they look terrible, and they look okay. Like, oh, they have a drive. You're like, okay, like, you guys had a competent drive. We just do that again, and they don't. But this was just like every drive was the worst they've looked. Like, it was only that all game. Yeah, that was something, man. That was pretty crazy.
And it's one of those things too. You and I were talking during the game, and like in years past, right? Like the spread of this game was 12 points, and there's been two times in Pat's history he was a 12-point or more, or 10-point or more favorite in the game, and he lost it outright. It was both to the Raiders. And in recent years, this was the game that the Raiders would bring, no matter how bad of a team they have. Zamir White's of the world, Aiden O'Connell, bum guys coming into these games, or not, bum guys, but guys who are not Geno Smith and not Ashton Genty coming into these games, and they play up. They play up to these games, and like, it seems after their like first punt, 5 plays in a punt, it seemed like that was it for them. Like that was it. There was no like. Didn't care. They just want to get the heck out of Dodge, it seemed like to me.
Yeah. We were talking about this. It's no matter how bad the Raiders have looked every year since 2002, since they won the last division. It's a division game. So you have like that consistency there. You just know each other so well that you figure it's going to be a tough game. And when they're terrible, it's at least competitive. The fact that this game should be really, as a Raider fan, as someone employed by that franchise, this is the most worrisome game of the year. This should be worse than losing to a bad team, because a lot of times you just don't show up for a game. Like, it happens. If it happens against a bad team, they're professionals. They're gonna beat your ass. But going into this game, if you're going to get up for one game, a game that they won, I mean, beating the Chiefs got Antonio Pierce a job extension, right? Like, it's a big deal. So, like, if there's one game to get through your players to show up for and be present for and, like, have a heart, it's this game. If you're not going to do that here and now, like, your season's done. I just, I don't. It's crazy. It's crazy to see that.
Yeah, no, it is crazy. I mean, all the stats in this game are just nuts. We're going to get into the offense here. The EGE era has begun in Kansas City. But shout out to Otaku from Mars. What's up, buddy? I hope you're doing well. Appreciate the contribution. Hey, yeah, man. Everyone's feeling it. Everyone's feeling it. Ooh, and a contribution, you know what? That's what happens. When you beat the Raiders, guys, you end up earning a Raiders subscriber and earning their money, too. So we appreciate that. Accelerate, appreciate the contribution, buddy. Raiders fans here.
It's appreciated.
We were just kidding about this one. We were just lulling you into a false sense of security so that we can surprise beat you next time. Hey,
Yeah.
I mean, I feel I actually like our chances more when we play in Allegiant Stadium just because Pat owns that stadium. He's like the second trust on it. But appreciate that, buddy. Okay, so we talked about it for the last few weeks. Everyone's been saying hashtag EGE for the last few weeks. Free for, as a lot of the Chiefs players have been wearing their shirts. Free Rashee Rice, putting the hashtags on Twitter and Instagram. But today we finally got it. Rashee Rice was back in Kansas City and playing for the Chiefs. And it was the first time we see Hollywood Brown, Xavier Worthy, and Rashee Rice in the same field together. And today, Rashee Rice made his presence known. And guys, come on, baby. Rice, baby. That's what we're doing today. That's what we're doing today. But today, Rashee Rice, 7 for 42. Immediately they got him involved. 10 targets, led the team in targets. 7 for 42, 2 touchdowns. 9 different guys caught a ball today in this offense. So when you talk about everybody eating, everybody ate. 9 different guys got involved. Here's the kicker. 7 different guys caught a pass of 28 or more yards, or had accumulated 28 or more yards receiving today. 7 guys at 28 or more. Because Pat had 286 yards passing, and his leading receiver had 54 yards in Travis Kelce. So everybody just had 30, 40, 30. Everyone's collectively had 30 and 40 yards, which is just unreal. So the EGE era has begun in Kansas City, and it was off to a stellar start. Rashee got a touchdown, and Hollywood got a touchdown. We need a worthy touchdown at some point, and Kelce get involved too. So the whole everybody can eat as far as touchdowns wise. But just looking at the play-by-play structure here, from the jump up until Pat leaves the game at the end of the third quarter, 9 plays, 92 yards, touchdown. 17 plays, 84 yards, touchdown. 16 plays, 94 yards, touchdown. Halftime. 11 plays, 65 yards, touchdown. 9 plays, 66 yards, field goal. And then Pat ends up leaving the game after that. So 5 straight scoring possessions, man. 4 for 4 in the red zone. And I know technically we were 4 for 5 in the red zone because we got that ball from Kenny Pickett and we just ended up running it 4 straight times. That I don't count that. So we were 4 for 4 in the red zone today. But we talked about the EGE era coming and how everyone was going to eat in this game, in this offense, and how it could look like with Rashee Rice being with all these guys. Honestly, for me, it's man, if all these injuries didn't happen last year and Hollywood never got hurt in the beginning of the season and preseason, and Rashee Rice never got hurt week 3, we could have seen this era start even earlier. But for whatever reason, it started a year later than it should have, and that's okay. But what were your just overall thoughts on how the offense looked and how just Rashee kind of opened up everything in the way he did?
He had 10 targets too, so they definitely did try feeding him the ball. I think it looked great. I think he individually looked great. I thought he was explosive, decisive, crisp. It looked like he had been practicing, man. It looks like he's been getting his timing down with Mahomes. It looks like they didn't miss a beat. Again, individually, coming off a torn ligament in his knee, I thought he just looked really good. In a time where guys come back, but they look good. They're getting involved, but he just looked really explosive and sharp. I love seeing that. That's very important. It's good to see Worthy take a tough hit and come back from it. Our offense looked great. We had 2 running backs run the ball for a total of 29 times. I do think part of that's because we were killing them trying to run the clock. But just taking that away, Pacheco still had 15 carries. I think 13 of those were when we were still it was still a game, kind of, when they were still running a normal offense, when it wasn't just trying to kill clock. So we did definitely try to run the ball more often, I think, in this game before it became just a joke. But, yeah, they just looked really sharp. A couple of bad throws from Mahomes that should have been picked. A couple of them. But I think I think he's just getting. I think he's so loose. He was so loose today in this game, thinking he could just do whatever the hell he wanted, and just kind of just threw some bad balls. He thought like, oh, they can't pick this off. They didn't. So, but I like that. I like that version of him. I don't want him to be gun shy. I like that he's letting it rip. And this is the game where you can do that too, right? Like, I mean, don't do that in like a 17-14 game with 2 minutes left. Do that when you're up, 28-0. But yeah, I mean, again, no notes. I love the way they spread it around. Rashard Smith got very involved in the passing game. I love seeing that. I think that's more to come. I think he's just yet another weapon. We're really adding 2 weapons, right? Because, I mean, Rashee Rice is coming back from being gone, but Rashard Smith's learning how to play like football in the NFL before our very eyes. So, like, every week he gets exposed to more, and we expose him to more of the offense and different looks. And I think by season's end, he might be someone who's just a legit threat out of the backfield to catch balls. I don't know about being our main back, but just to catch balls, just a huge advantage of him. They love running that screen. It's nice to see a screen pass work to a running back again. It's been a while. So yeah, it was great to see. And missing O lineman, next man up mentality. It was good. It was great to see that too. Like, I don't like seeing Trey Smith gone, but I don't know the stats of Caliendo and his grades, but from a first time live view, it looks like Caliendo did a pretty good job in that game. So, I'm happy about everything.
Yeah, I mean, the O-line injuries and the Omar Norman line injuries are going to be my takeaway, like the concerning things from this game, right? Because, the one thing, when you have a game like this, you just want to come out unscathed. That's why with Pat, the 6 seconds marker of the third quarter is like, all right, he's putting the headset on. That's it. We're done. And that was like, okay, they just want to get the heck out of this game. It's done at this point. That's why the carries are carries. I mean, whatever. It just, I just think it's at a certain point, it was like, okay, it's beefed up, just kind of the way it was beefed up in the Ravens game too. They just want to get the heck out of Dodge. But yeah, no, I agree with that. But looking at what you said, Brad, the targets and Rashard Smith, he was a second on the team in targets today and catches. So 7 catches for Rashee Rice, 10 targets for Rashee Rice, 5 catches and 5 targets for Rashard Smith. So they are getting him more and more involved and more touches. And honestly, I actually liked what I saw from him as far as running the ball. I know it was at the end of the game when he was getting most of his totes, but not bad, man. Not bad at all. Kareem Hunt yeah. And Kareem Hunt kind of scared us a little bit with that ankle injury that he had, but he ended up going back in and converting a 4th and 1 a couple plays later. So it was good to have him back and not hurt in that respect. But
he got stuffed on that 3rd and 1, which I think was his first carry after the injury.
Yep.
Yeah. But then, he came back to himself. Got it.
Yeah. So yeah, I loved the offensive when I saw it. I just think, there's a good comment here from on the Brown. EGE era means no one is getting paid, and the numbers won't match the top receivers' max money, making max salary. Good thing they're all still young. It'll be interesting because I don't know if Hollywood will be able to stay. If Hollywood will stay around past this year, because I think he will get paid in the offseason, right? He's taken 2 prove-it deals in a row. Only got to see him once. Pretty much, last year barely played. So he took another prove-it deal this year, and he leads our league and leads our team in receiving touchdowns. Who knows what his numbers will look like by the end of the season? So I can see Hollywood leaving. I would love to have Hollywood stick around on a solid deal. I'd love to keep him and Tyquan around in solid prices because Rice and Worthy are still on rookie deals right now. So you can pay those other guys a decent amount. And I don't think Juju's going to break the bank anywhere else. I think he found a role here. He's already gotten the big money elsewhere. I think Juju's fine to stick around with us. But it'll be interesting to see what happens in the offseason with those guys. But yeah, the EGE era, it does kind of mean that let's see how close these guys can remain, and hopefully they can hopefully hook them up with State Farm deals so they can get paid outwardly, not just through the salary cap.
Winning and cohesion and fun, having fun, and liking your life, loving your life and loving your job every day, that can compensate for a couple million here and there when you're already making many million, right? So we'll see. I think I wouldn't be surprised if all those guys accept a little less in order to stay. And you already see that trend from Chief players. So it's like when you see other guys in your team accepting a little less than what they're worth, then if that's what we got to do to make it stay, then, let's keep it going. So I'm not going to worry about that yet, though.
Jazzy D, great break, great beatdown. Too many injuries, though. Andy Reid just reported that they think Trey Smith's injury is merely recurring locking up. Oh, his back injury. I mean, yeah. So since we're on offense right now, let's just go to the injuries. So obviously, great game, great takeaway. We love what we saw from everybody in this game. It was just, if you were coming away from this game, any Chiefs content creators coming away from this game upset about the way the game went, I don't know what's going to make you happy. I really have no idea what will whatever make you happy. Because if you can't come away from that game not being happy about it, don't know what to tell you. But the only negatives and takeaways from this game were the injuries, and that's football, right? It's going to happen. So Trey Smith leaves the game early. Caliendo ends up going in from a lower back injury, and as Jazzy D said, Andy Reid just said, it's reoccurring of locking up. So who knows what that all entails and how long he'll be out. Hopefully he'll be back for this Monday night game. And also too, we have an extra day of recovery because we play on Monday night next week, and that helps. And then you have at the end of the game, we reported that Juwan Taylor ends up leaving the game. But at that point, it was already mid fourth quarter when they said Juwan Taylor was out. So I don't know if it was more like, okay, Juwan said his shoulder was acting up. Like, you know what? This game's over. Just come out already. So I don't know if that was the case with him.
That would be my guess.
I hope so. So Juwan Taylor, the right shoulder injury. I don't know if it was right or left. And then of course the Josh Simmons personal injury, the personal stuff that's going on. We don't know what's going on with that, how long that's going to happen, how long that's going to be out. Because to have Josh, and I hope he gets everything figured out, whatever it is. Because to have Josh Simmons back, that fulfills your left tackle spot. And then if Juwan Taylor's injury is a bad injury, you can move Jalen Moore to that right side, and you have that tackle spot taken care of.
Correct.
And if Trey Smith's injury is bad, then you can move because Jalen Moore's played some guard this summer too. You can have him play that guard spot. So that's the kind of the whole injury thing where I'm kind of concerned about. What do you make of all these injuries? And do you think they were serious, or where do you stand on that?
It doesn't sound serious. Locking up, that's a game-to-game thing. That could happen again. That could reoccur, but it's not like you're out 3 to 6 week type injury. So that's good. If we're going to have injuries, it's pretty fortunate. I don't know what Norman Lotz is. We'll get to defense later, but I think it's a positive side to injuries. Back locking up is not the worst thing in the world. I don't know what Taylor's is, but I do agree. I think it's one of those he just would have played if it was a competitive game. He just didn't because it wasn't. But yeah, having more guys out does magnify the Simmons loss a little more. And if we have him back whenever, as soon as possible, then other guys can move around and we can make use of guys that aren't playing all the time. So yeah, it sucks, but Caliendo's played a lot. So it's a good experienced guard we have there ready to step in. So yeah, hopefully guys can just step up.
Yeah, hopefully. And since we're on the injuries right now, we have Omar Norman Lotz injury, which Andy Reid said at the presser just now that he's getting an MRI tomorrow on the knee.
Damn.
So, I mean, in general, they do that anyways to rule out stuff, right? If it is going to be structurally damaged at all. But it didn't look the best the way they had it. And also, too, let's get a cart on the field. Why do we have Pat coming on there to help him off the field? If I am any mad about anything from this game, it's like, get a cart on the field to take the guy off the cart. I don't want to see number 15 coming out there and putting 300-pound guys on his shoulder, which I love that Pat is the guy doing that because this guy, somebody he cares about his team because it is his team. But geez, why is he the one coming out there and putting guys on his shoulder, take them off the field? Get the medical staff in there, get the cart there, and take them out.
Yeah. Stupid.
So yeah, okay. So other side of things, let's go to defense now. I mean, we talked about 3 first downs all game. And like I said, when you look at the stat, usually when we look at stats, you can look at like, man, we put up a lot of yards this game. But when you look at the entirety of the total stats, we're talking about looking at both. We're talking about the offense and the defense, and that's just amazing. As he says, Trey has had this spine locking up many times, several days to recover. Sounds like muscle spasms. 90% of all adults have or will have this spasm. Yeah. Give some painkillers. Get them in there, baby. Loosen up. I don't know how they'll take care of that, but in my experiences with neck spasms, Put some hot and cold, some icy hot on that. Do some warm water, do some cold ice water. Loosen that bad boy up a little bit. You should be good to go by next Monday.
Our bye's coming up in not too long, so let's just get there first.
Let's get to the bye, yeah. Let's get to the bye. Defensively, so obviously Omar Norman-Lott is out and he got hurt, the knee injury, and we'll see. We'll know more about that tomorrow. But it comes at a very opportune time. Well, not opportune, but at a time where a report comes out yesterday that the Chiefs are fine with their running back situation, but they are looking into defensive line options. And now you have a defensive line option, right? You're looking at defensive line options. But then your guy you drafted early in this game, he gets hurt. Omar Norman-Lott, which we've seen him in and out, right? The ankle injuries during the offseason, and then he was out last week, and then or he's been out a few times already. But then you have and then you have this whole thing pop up here with Omar Norman-Lott being out. So do they go back to Will as far as trying to sign somebody, or do they like what they see in the practice squad guys, like Robert Martin, or do they bring in Christian Wilkins? You look to the trade market for defensive tackle, because most teams don't trade their good defensive tackles, right? I mean, the Derek Notties of the world are the ones who are traded, not anyone of a high impact. Although I would love to bring Mike Pennell back. That's one I would love to. I saw Chris Jones this week was making a play and trying to recruit the Chiefs to go do that, which I'd be kind of mad about. I'd love it to bring Pennell back, but I'd also be mad in the fact that we had him on our team in the first place. Why the heck were you having to trade assets to bring him back? But that's neither here nor there. But for me, we talked about Christian Wilkins a couple weeks ago. I think now might be as good as ever to kick the tires on that to see, because it's we're gonna be week 8 next week. So it's okay, he should be recovering from that Jones fracture coming up here now. So what do you make of the Omar Norman-Lott injury mixed in with the report that came out yesterday of trying to bring in defensive line options?
I think if we were interested in a D tackle yesterday, then we are super interested in a D tackle today after Norman-Lott's injury. That interest was pre-Norman-Lott injury, so it goes to show you what we're probably thinking now. I don't think Martin or even Pennell would help, because Norman-Lott's not that kind of D tackle. He's a shoot the gap penetrating pass rushing D tackle, and those are even harder to find, which is why we drafted one in the second round. So they wouldn't really fix that. I don't know what kind of D tackle they were looking for before this. If they were trying to upgrade Noddy for the run stuffing, or they were trying to just get more pass rush from the interior. But yeah, I think you'd have to start looking outward to bring someone in, whether it's trade or whether it's signing somebody. They don't grow on trees, but it is coming to the point now where teams are going to start firing guys, and you're going to get new GMs in there who aren't tied to certain players and who want to free up the cap and who want to free up, get more draft picks and build their own team. So you're going to start to see, guys available who might not be available as teams are just falling apart out there. Like I said before you got on, I think 4 to 5 players, 4 to 5 quarterbacks are benched today. It shows you how bad this week was for a lot of teams. I would love Jeffrey Simmons barbershop. That is not happening. In fact, the Titans said the 2 players on their team that are off limits are Simmons and Ward. So everyone else you can get from the Titans except for those 2. So
wow.
That's not happening. They're not, they're dumb. They're not that dumb. So yeah, Jeffrey Simmons would be incredible. But I think we do. And me and Wilkins, I'm fine kicking the tires on that, giving it a try.
I mean, look, 2 years ago, the guy was the number 2 defensive tackle in that free agency class. It was Chris Jones and Christian Wilkins.
He was a consolation prize to signing to getting Jones.
And he's still young, too. So it's bring him in. I mean, if everything kind of checks out with everything that went on in the locker room with the Raiders and stuff, Veach, man, you're not paying this guy a lot of money. Just bring him on, dude, for a 1-year prove-it deal. I mean, that's it. You're bringing him on for half a year, essentially. So, yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. And even now, when you start trading for guys, you prorate that contract rate. It only comes by however many games are left in the season. So we wouldn't be taking on as much salary, even if a guy does have it. We don't have any money, really, right? So I don't know. Yeah, I would think a Wilkins signing would make sense, given that I don't know how much he's going to ask for, and I'm sure he knows how good he'd look on our D line next to Jones.
And it goes to 1974. Phillips from Miami might be a shot. Yeah, I wouldn't mind that, right? Because we'd love the edge rush push, but again, I think with if Omar Norman-Lott's injury is bad, it also takes the emphasis off the edge. It's like, okay, we really need to find another defensive tackle because we can't go Noddy next to Chris Jones all season long. Because I mean, JD shouted out Noddy for a few clips from last week's game, but like for the most part, the clips aren't, they're not the best, right? That's why we shouted out some of the positivity we saw because we don't see a lot from Noddy. So it's more like you need to, if L&L is out for a long period of time, you need to go find another defensive tackle. So Wilkins might be. I mean, the reason why I like Wilkins so much, obviously the potential's there because we know what he was just 2 years ago before the injury, is the fact that we're not trading any assets, right? Because those other guys, we had to trade assets. We had to trade 6th-round picks. The draft picks that we love day 3, we love Veach Snipe in the 6th and 7th round. Those are going to be gone if you trade for those. And honestly, bringing in a guy for a 6th or 7th round pick, I don't think the juice is worth the squeeze. I think Christian Wilkins as just a pickup is a much better deal than having to trade an asset for somebody. You don't have to trade an asset, and I think that's huge.
What if you can get Calais Campbell for a late pick?
I'd be in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be in.
I mean,
he's
probably on one of his last years. He'd love to have a ring, right? He only went to one Super Bowl his rookie season, and he lost that Arizona-Pittsburgh one. He was on that team? Yeah, it was rookie season.
Damn, he's been around for a long time, man.
I know.
Holy crap.
I know. It's crazy. So I'm sure he'd love to get a shot and one last, run, right?
For sure.
Put him on him and Jones in the interior, dude. Come on. And he can still, he wasn't what he was, but he's not a slouch at run defense, and he can still get after the quarterback, man.
He's a difference.
He can still do it all.
Yeah. He's not a naughty type of guy. I mean, he's a real difference maker.
Yeah, yes. He's how you want Chris Jones to age.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right.
And it's a guy you can play. We like versatility. It's a guy you can play defense at tackle and DN. You can do a little bit of both.
Yeah,
still even at his age.
Yeah. And I don't think it would take once Arizona's out. What are they doing with Campbell's on a building block? He's not. I don't even think his salary's that big. So
but I was under the impression that he signed with the Arizona because that he wanted to end his career where it started.
I get it, but half the year, if they approach him like, "Hey, man, I know you want to be here. We love it. We love having you here. We're not trying to get rid of you. Would you be open to a trade to Kansas City?" At that point, I have 2 more months of football. Am I going to do that? Losing? Am I going to do that? Am I going to go for 3 months of football and try to win a championship on a team? I don't know, man. I think why not? I think you have a why not in there, right?
Yeah.
That's who his contract is.
Yeah,
he would be an ideal guy to go for. His contract was a 1 year, 5.5.
And he's healthy, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
So you're talking about him for half the season, something like $2 million, around $2.5 million would be his rest of the year hit. That's what you go. Damn, he's turning 40. That is so impressive. For a D lineman to stay good till 40 is incredible. But yeah.
It's impressive for sure at that age. So yeah, and obviously, I think at his age, I think he wouldn't mind going to the Chiefs to compete for a ring at the end. I mean, but I guess that would be my argument as to why you just sign with a team like that in the get go. Then, right? You just went right back to the team you wanted to end your career with, that you started with. I don't know.
Yeah.
Justin Blackwell, Chase Young from NOLA. Yeah, but my hesitation with him is injuries, and that's my only hesitation with Chase Young. I would hate to get a guy, then he's injured the next week, and it's like, oh, okay, well, we're right back in the same rut. And because he's had a problem with injuries throughout his whole career.
Yeah.
All right. So, so defensively, I'm seeing, Jazzy D, Chiefs D was awesome. RBs overcame mediocre run blocking to make it happen. So, man, we talked about the total yards in this game, and I'll just briefly go through them again. So, 3 first downs for the Raiders. 93 93 total yards, 70 passing yards, 23 rushing yards. No third down conversions in this game. I did a play-by-play for the Chiefs. I'm gonna do a play-by-play for the Raiders. This is from the first drive to the end. 5 plays punt, 5 plays punt, 3 plays punt, halftime. 3 plays punt, 4 plays punt, 4 plays punt, fumble, punt. That is awful. I mean, like, that might have been the worst thing I've ever rattled off before. I think Spags. It was a master.
At one point.
It was a master class, but it was also like I feel like he didn't. I mean, I feel like he didn't have to do much in this game because like the Raiders they had nothing going on, just across the board. I know they didn't have Jacoby Myers, Brock Bowers, but like, was Chip Kelly rattled by what Spags was throwing at him? I mean, they didn't run the ball at all in this game. They ran at the first drive, and that was once of the first drive, and we didn't see it again for another like 3 drives after that. I don't know. I also don't know what the play calling was, but collectively, I thought Jalen Watson had a great game. I thought Jaden Hicks had a great game. I thought Charles Medu had a great game. He had a sack that was wiped out, but we're starting to see Charles Medu come along a little bit. We've been waiting for that. Chris Jones, obviously, just a mauler in the middle. Held a bunch of times. Had the sack. I could say the defense was phenomenal today across the board. What was your takeaways from what you saw defensively?
Their best player is Genty by like a mile and a half. So for him to get 1 touch in like 2 to 3 drives is crazy. I remember Romo was saying they need to get him going, and it was already 14-0 at that point. It's like, it's too late, man. Like it's the game's done now. It's like you needed to come out of the gates just like saying, hey, run the ball, keep the Chiefs off the field. Let's try to get Genty going. Maybe he can break one. Like maybe he's good enough because we have been a little susceptible up the middle. Maybe Genty's good enough to get a play action going, get a deep ball to Trey Tucker going, something. But they didn't even. I mean, they came out like passing like they were already down 21-0. Terrible, terrible offense. Yeah, I mean, I just said it a minute ago. It seems like Spags could have taken a nap. I mean, they didn't show him that much in that game, so maybe he was taking a nap in the back. Didn't need to be out there because it was just a really easy game. But it's nice. We said this a while ago. Like, you're supposed to take care of these kind of opponents. So it's nice to see us not struggle with the opponent like this. It's nice to see us kill a limping antelope, right? Like, don't struggle with it. So it was nice to see us take the layup and run with it and not have any kind of struggles at any point in this game. Like, I mean, it was firmly in control from the start.
Yeah, I mean, you see it many times, right? You for example, like you guys probably, I don't know if anyone woke up this morning to watch the Jaguars and Rams game, but like the Jaguars, they look pedestrian today. But again, a couple weeks ago, you talk about beating a team when you should beat them. That team that looked like awful against the Rams today, they scored 30 points against us a couple weeks ago. And I know one of the touchdowns was a pick 6, but like their offense moved the ball consistently against us. And from what I could tell today, they look like a bad football team today, basically what we saw against the Rams today. But like the way we play today, that's the way you should play against bad football teams. And I'm not comparing the Raiders and the Jaguars, but I'm just saying the way Jaguars play today look like the Raiders today. But that's a team a couple weeks ago who looked like, oh man, maybe the Jaguars actually have a good offense. Maybe it's a turning point for them. That's the way what we saw today. We saw offense and we saw defense both on the same page as far as dominating and not letting. And like JD said, his keys to victory, it was don't beat a team down from the get-go. Don't even let them think they have a chance. And from the get-go, that's what they did offensively. Kicking the ball off to them, they punted it right away. We drove down there and scored. They get the ball back, they punted again right away. We drove down and scored. We made them know that, hey, like there's going to be no shot for you in this game, and that's kind of what we did from the jump in this game. And yes, Spags, whatever game plan he had in this game, it really did them well because they had nothing. They also they don't have weapons there. I mean, Trey Tucker, Jack Besh. I mean, this is pretty rough, man.
It is rough. It looked, yeah. It's you're a loyal Raider fan if you stick out this year. Kudos. They're kind of used to it, though. Yeah,
I mean, since 0-2, at this point, I think you are used to this.
And the Chargers are down by 10, so
I'm saying that
if they continues, then tie for first.
And the Broncos are down by 7 right now too. So yeah. everything's falling into exactly how we thought it was going to be this year. And I know a lot of everyone thought they had a shot against us this year. Well, sorry guys. And then we could say, well, it's the Raiders. Well, we did this to the Lions last week too. That was more of the measuring stick. This is more of Lions gives more of a measuring stick. This is more of, okay, we have our guys back. What could it possibly look like? And this is what the best of what it could look like, right? It could look like 31-0. That's the kind of team we are, 31-0 type of team. And also pretty crazy. This was Andy Reid's first ever shutout in the regular season, 31-0 today. This is a guy who's had really good defenses over his career. But the fact that 31-0, first ever shutout in Andy Reid's history. Justin Hutchins, when was the last time the Chiefs held the other team under 100 yards of offense? Let me see if ChatGPT knows this. When was the last time the Chiefs held a team under 100 yards of offense? Okay, not today. Gosh. Besides today. Sorry, I have to add in the besides today. Gosh. All right. It's generating. The last time Chiefs held a team under 100 yards of offense was on January 5th. No. January 5th, 2025. Didn't we get held to under 100? We might have gotten held to under 100 yards of offense that game. See, ChatGPT's not all the best yet, but at some point, you know what? I want to say maybe it was the Broncos game during the Tebow days. Remember when he only completed like 5 passes that one game?
Yeah,
and they beat us. Might have been that.
How about this? When's the last time we had 2 30-point games in a row?
2022.
Correct.
Was it Buccaneers and?
No, it was weak. Well. You might be right about that. Yes, that was not the last time. We did it twice that year.
Okay.
That was games? You're thinking of Buccaneers Vegas, naturally.
Yes.
And then we did it again later on in the season with Denver and Houston.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
So
man, the offense is back. We're gonna start to see a lot of 3-point games in our future. So guys, buckle up. Because it's going to be good. We're going to go to overdrive with our offense here, guys. So
that's crazy, though. 3 years ago, 2 30-point games in a row.
Shoot, man. And you can say this offense is probably, as far as weapons wise, better than that offense 3 years ago.
Yeah, you could also say this 4-game stretch we've had right now might be our highest points per game in a 4-game stretch in a very long time.
Probably 2019. Probably 2019.
31, 30, 28, 37.
Yeah. No,
we really should have had 30 in that game too. Through that pick in the red zone. We should have 30 that game. So really it should be 4 games in a row with 30 plus.
Yeah. And way better weapons wise this time around than in 2022. The fact that Pat was putting up those numbers with the weapons that he had in 2022 is actually kind of, and kudos to him for doing that what he did. Because I mean, Juju, who's our fifth fiddle in this offense, was our number 1 guy in that offense, which is, nuts.
Yeah, I'd say it's the best, most dynamic our offense has been since 2021, probably.
Yeah, that was the last year of Tyreek, right?
Yeah.
But all right, guys. Well, that does it for us in this post-game show. We're going to get back to watching football as it is midway through the 4 o'clock games. We hope you guys enjoyed the win today. We hope you guys enjoyed our episode today. And of course, definitely go to FanDuel and place your wagers for next week against the Washington Commanders. It's going to be a good one. I think it's going to be a high-scoring affair because the Commanders have a decent offense. And it seems like they benched Debo this week to make sure he's healthy for next week. And Terry McLaurin might be back next week also. So we might have a big shootout next week. But hopefully Spags can whip up something good against Jaden Daniels. But it's going to be chapter 1 of the Jaden Daniels versus Patrick Mahomes, the new era versus the, I guess, old era. Is Pat old yet? No, he's not old yet, but,
Prime era.
The prime era, the established era.
That era.
The vet era, yeah. But we hope you guys enjoyed the episode, and we will see you guys. JD and I will see you guys tomorrow night for our Monday grades show. So we hope you guys enjoyed the episode. We will see you guys tomorrow. Love y'all. Take it easy, everybody.
Love y'all.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.